Alright, what's up guys? NinjaDeathStrike here, bringing you another Pokemon TCGO match. And since we are on Halloween week, I have a Halloween themed match. This is not the main Halloween special, but it is still kind of there. I'm using Zoroark. I mean, Zoroark's like a werewolf, right? So, close enough. I figured it kind of fit the theme, and I hadn't played the deck forever since like the first week Dark Explorers came out. So that was a long time ago. Definitely a different deck now, and I wanted to give it a try. So I have my choice of starters here. I could opt to go with the Zorua and go for the more aggressive start, or lead with the Sableye and go for the more defensive one. Looking at my hand and seeing that I have 0 supporters means I'm probably going to want to go for the Sableye. I could have gone with the Zorua and then not used Ascension and maybe evolved the second turn into my Shiny Zoroark and gone for Foul Play to get a supporter. That wouldn't have been a good idea, but I actually completely forgot about Foul Play for the majority of this match, or at least for the first part, when I could have used it to get myself a supporter. But instead, I'm going to opt to just go for Catcher Stall. My opponent is also playing a dark deck, but it's kind of a weird one. It's Scraggy, Tornadus, Victini, Dodrio. Obviously, you can see they do not have black and white on deck. So that's definitely a little annoying now. What are we, 3 months into rotation? But, oh well, nothing you can do about it. I didn't feel like conceding. Normally I play them out just to see what happens, but they're going to get to go first, which means they actually hit the turn 2 Zoroark. You'll notice the first turn I catchered up the Doduo. That's because Dodrio doesn't give itself free retreat. Only when it's on the bench it gives the active free retreat, but if you catcher it up into the active spot, then it doesn't have free retreat itself. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just continually junk hunting for my catchers, and as long as I'm able to catcher that thing active every turn, unless he gets a dark patch, he's not going to actually be able to attack, because he's going to have to attach an energy to Dodrio every turn if he wants to retreat it. So that's what I'm opting to do right now. And then I also choose to Ultra Ball away the rest of my hand. I don't see the Super Rod coming into a whole lot of play early. I think I just run one, but I really wanted to try and thin my deck out so that maybe I can hit a supporter. So I go ahead and Ultra Ball away the other catcher and the Super Rod to grab a Darkrai. That'll also give me free retreat if I need that. And then my opponent plays Team Rocket's Trickery, which I guess is probably what he grabbed with his Foul Play last turn. Just ditch the Crushing Hammer. The catcher is going to be more valuable because it's guaranteed to force him to discard an energy. So I keep that, and then, next turn, same plan, catcher up Dodrio until something happens. Obviously, I have not seen a supporter yet. This is turn 4, I believe. 3 or 4, no supporter yet, so that's no good. And I think this is the turn I realize I can actually use Foul Play to get a supporter. So let's see. I know I'm going to catcher Dodrio up again, yes. But I'm not sure when I remember I can do that. Well, not this turn. Okay, so I'm going to forget about that this turn, just go for Junk Hunt again. And I mean, it would have been nice to get the supporter, but really, this stall method is going to be pretty effective against my opponent's deck. Doesn't seem like he's got a lot to deal with it. If I can get a couple heads on Crushing Hammer too, I can really put him in a tight spot. Because if I can get rid of that energy on Zoroark, then I can just leave him without energy. Then he's going to have to attach to retreat and not be able to use Foul Play. But unfortunately here he does get a Dark Patch. Luckily though, he cannot put that onto Dodrio. He has to put it onto Scraggy instead, and then he goes for the Foul Play again. So I draw DCE. That's not going to do me a whole lot of good, but I do finally get my first heads on Crushing Hammer. I'm going to get rid of that Special Dark. Once that's in the discard pile, it's gone forever. And I don't really want to attach this DCE. They're more for my Zoroarks, not so much for Darkrai. You can do it if you have to, but I definitely prefer to hang on to it. So I just keep that in my hand and then Junk Hunt again. And we see my opponent is just going to do the same thing. But this time he's able to retreat into Scrafty, and Scrafty actually has an attack he can use for 1 energy. Spit Poison, I believe it's called. It automatically poisons, and then you flip a coin, and if you get heads, you paralyze as well. But as you can see here, there's a bunch of coin flips. One of them is for burn, and then 2 are for paralysis, but I have no idea what order they do it in. So since I'm burned and I took burn damage, now's the turn I'm going to retreat into Zoroark. And let's see what I do here. Obviously going to play down the Crushing Hammers. There's no reason not to. I get another head, so that's nice. I can get rid of the energy on this Scrafty. Then Catcher out someone. Dodrio again. Force him to waste more energy, and now I can go for the foul play and grab a Juniper, which is much needed. This is getting ridiculous. My opponent has a huge hand, and I haven't gotten anything going, so again, a very defensive turn, but now finally, hopefully I'll be able to get on the offensive next turn, so it is not going to stop him from attacking again, though. This turn, he's going to have to discard an energy again, and he actually has to go for a DCE. I guess he didn't have a dark, but if he flips a heads with Scraggy, he's going to be able to attack me, paralyze me, and trap me there since I don't play Switch. But instead, he decides to go for Dodrio's attack. I have no idea what it does, but I'm sure it's terrible. He did 40 damage, I think. And now that I have the Juniper, I'm just going to attach the DCE. I don't want it to go to waste, and I may as well use it as my attachment for this turn. I do get 7 new cards, but none of them are anything I want. And this Foul Play Zoroark actually doesn't really do a whole lot against my opponent's deck. I'd much rather have the other one right now. But I am going to decide to Catcher out the Scrafty without the Dark Claw, and I go for High Jump Kick. It would have been much better to go for Spit Poison. Scraggy has 90 hit points, so I can't take him out in one shot. And if I had gotten a heads on the Spit Poison, I could have paralyzed him and trapped him there, and then next turn I definitely could have taken him out. So a bit of a misplay for me, and I also forget that he actually does have free retreat because he's not Dodrio, so he just retreats out into his other Scrafty and takes out my Zoroark with Spit Poison and then a Tails Flip on the burn, which has happened both times. I don't flip a whole lot of heads in this match. There's another Tails from Crushing Hammer. I don't have a whole lot to do here, so I'm just going to attach an N. Yeah, I don't even think I have any dark energies in the discard pile, so even if I had gotten a dark patch there, wouldn't have done a whole lot. And I attached the Dark Claw to Darkrai. I'm kind of forced to charge up Darkrai because I can't get any Zaruas, which is really the main problem with this deck. It starts really fast since you can lead Zorua and evolve on turn 1, but then it just gets kind of hard to get the other ones out. I guess I could play more level balls, but I opted to go for Crushing Hammers instead, just because they're really good, and I put them in any deck that has Sableye and doesn't have Hydreigon. So, yeah, I mean, I could switch them out for level balls to get more Zaruas out, but whatever. I like the hammers in this one. Here, Sableye goes down. I actually don't mind that too much. He's done his job. He stalled forever at the beginning of the match. All I need this turn is Dark Energy to be able to attack, and I can actually get a 2-prize turn because I hit that Scrafty on the bench for 70, so a Night Spear will do 90 to the active, and then I can hit that one for 30, take 2 prizes, and catch right up in the prize trade. And beyond that, I can take almost all of the energy off of his board. Tornadus still has a DCE attached to it. I don't know when he got that, but he's probably had it for a while. My opponent did have a lot of turns to do stuff, so that's the only energy on his field, though. And once I take that down, I should be sitting pretty, and thanks to the Dark Claw, I can actually one-shot this Tornadus. I can do 110 damage instead of just 90, and that's really nice, because it means my Darkrai will come out with a lot less damage than he would have otherwise. So After not having a supporter for the first 5 or 6 turns in a row, I now have 4 in my hand, making that Juniper a terrible idea because I also had 2 of my catchers. So I go for the N instead, even though it's only going to get me 4 cards. I needed to do something. That hand was going nowhere fast, and I actually draw a pretty great hand off of the 4 cards. I didn't get another supporter, but I get cards that will help me, which is always good. And so I opted Dark Patch onto the Darkrai. I would have rather put it onto the other Zorua, since they are at the point of this deck, attacking with these swarming Zoroarks that only give up 1 prize, as opposed to the Darkrai's that are a lot slower and give up 2. But I'm just so used to playing Darkrai decks where Darkrai is the main attacker, I did it automatically. I didn't even think about it. I do, however, get a Juniper off of my prize, which is amazing. Best prize I could have drawn. And then I top deck the random receiver on top of that. But I'm just going to go for the Juniper. Having the random receiver in my discard pile will be great, though. It means I can get it back later with Sableye if I need to. And now I'm going to Dark Patch onto Zorua, now that I remember that's the point of this deck. I'm also going to retreat Darkrai out of the active spot. No reason to leave him in to possibly get paralyzed when I've got a bench full of dark Pokemon. I can hit for 120 with Brutal Bash. And at this point, I'm pretty sure I one-shot everything in his deck. So I'm feeling pretty confident. After a very shaky, slow start, I finally stabilized, which seems to happen a lot in these videos. I think it's just the format in general. People tend to drought quite often, so if you're able to stabilize, you can make a decent comeback. It helps that this deck, my opponent's deck, is not the best. If this had been like Rayquaza Eels or something like that, I just would have gotten blasted. But I was able to stall for enough to survive until I could get my deck going, and then once I did hit a supporter, there were so many in there, I was able to just chain them for the rest of the game. So here, I try to retreat to the undamaged Zoroark, but I forget that I don't have a Dark Energy on the active one, so I don't get free retreat. That's fine, I'm still doing 120 with Brutal Bash, so I can just take out Zoroark like that. Team Rocket's Trickery at this point is not going to bother me. I win next turn. There's nothing he can do to stop that. If he kills Zoroark, then Darkrai comes up and Night Spears Victini for the win, and if he kills Darkrai, then Zoroark comes up and Brutal Bashes something for the win. I guess Tornadus could have survived, maybe, if I didn't get another basic, but I had the Juniper too, so I probably would have hit at least a Dark Claw. Anyhow, that's going to be the match. Hopefully you guys liked it. Leave me a comment if you did. I always enjoy reading your comments. Thumbs up if you like the video. Check out the links in the description, and definitely come back Wednesday for my Halloween match. It's a really good one, so I'm excited to show that to you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll have more videos coming your way shortly. Later.